all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy, deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace, blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, blessed peace is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
Thank you, that was beautiful. I invite you all now, please, to close your eyes. And if it's comfortable for you, I suggest you place your feet flat on the floor and your palms facing upward. Open, ready, eager, and willing to receive the love, peace, and grace that God is that you are. Let's take a long, deep breath. And let us acknowledge the magnificent light and love and peace and joy within this very place. And let us take a deep breath and breathe that in consciously. We acknowledge all of the guardian angels with us here now. Let us imagine that we can hear or feel the beat of their heart centers. Feel the warmth of their light shining forth. Knowing that these angels are indeed filling the room, filling the heart, filling every atom within this being, within this room, within this sanctuary. And I invite you now to imagine a little circle of light within your own heart center. And let us take a deep breath, feeling that dot of light growing larger. And as we continue to breathe, that circle of light grows larger and larger and larger. From the center of our chest, it grows larger until all of our lower body is included in that circle of love, light. And at the same time, the expanding circle enclosed our throats and our eyes and the tops of our heads. Let us be aware of how it feels to be within a vibrant, beating circle of love light. And at this time, I invite you to let something that you love so much come to mind and bring it into your heart. And as you focus on this beloved person, place, or thing, feel the energy in your heart center grow warmer, stronger, and bigger. May we rest consciously within love light at the center of our being. And perhaps even more importantly, let us know that that is what divine presence is. And divine presence is everywhere. Everywhere. And when we focus on it, when we pause to feel it, it becomes stronger. It becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And miracles begin to happen in our lives. Let's take another long, deep breath. And if there's a particular miracle that you are longing for in your life right now, you may visualize that. Feel it in your heart as an expression, as your life, as you. As we open our eyes, let us know that we are basking in love, and smile, because it feels so wonderful to be awake in the presence of love. That's the truth. And now, let there be light in the outer world. Beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. And if you notice that when you are in love, you see a lot more beauty around you, isn't it amazing? So why would we always choose to be in love? Yes, today, I is in the title, but I fully believe what I mentioned to the children and in the meditation, that as our heart expands and expands and expands, the energy of the heart, that love, rises into all of our centers, down into our lower centers and up into our higher centers. And it is only love that allows us to see beauty. When we are within beauty, we are grateful. That's a product of love. And certainly, if we are able to see beauty wherever, then that is also a product of love. So, love is what it's all about. And here, this, I guess, is the manifestation that you and I are familiar with, that is the great beholder. The great beholder. But we know that there's something even underneath this, because God is invisible. We talk about the womb of creation, the nothingness from which everything springs. And then there were some let there be's. Let there be a universe. Let there be galaxies. Let there be solar systems. And in one of those solar systems, let there be a sun that has planets rotating around it. And let the fourth one out be Earth. Isn't that amazing? And here we are. But who knows? We originated way back there, and we know now that everything on earth, the matter, comes from stardust. Who knows when or where? But here we are. The earth was created in all of its beauty and splendor. I guess let there be gases, let there be minerals, let there be plants, let there be creepy crawlies, let there be things swimming in the ocean, let there be four-leggeds, and then let there be two-leggeds. And here we are. And we two-leggeds are wearing these adorable earth suits. And a part of the earth suit contract is that our purpose in wearing the earth suit is to remember who and what we are, to find light, love, beauty, joy, all those things, and to be that while we're walking around in these cute earth suits. But guess what? God, in all of God's wisdom, I guess, gave us free will. We are all created with a human mind and human feeling nature, as well as our human bodies. And we have the ability to use our human minds and feeling natures to make choices. Okay, we've made choices. I saw this just recently on Facebook. If anyone wants to be my friend on Facebook, I'm glad to be your friend. I just put out positive things. I don't get into the
Amen.
ugly stuff.
We call it the Church of Facebook.
All right, here we go. The earth is 4.6 billion years old. Let's scale that down to 46 years. So we have been here about 4 hours. The Industrial Revolution happened a minute ago. And in that time, we have destroyed more than 50% of the trees. Ouch.
Wow.
Do you think that it's possible that we, wearing these cute earth suits, could make different choices, wiser choices? You know, we came to earth and we got all excited because it was beautiful. And we went shopping and saw these beautiful clothes in the stores. And we watched TV and saw this yummy food and everything that we could go out and buy. So we needed more money. So we needed to work harder. So we needed to get a bigger job and a better job, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And somehow or other, we have gotten a little bit lost. So, love, true love, comes from the heart. And it is focused on the magnificent divine love that God is. That magnificent love in which you and I are created in the image and likeness. And yes, it's wonderful to appreciate the beauty in the outer world. It's wonderful to want this, that, and the other thing. But Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom. And then whatever you want in the outer world or think you want, you'll have it. But seek first the kingdom. So, who knows, which beam of light are we there, coming down to earth? So, the presence of God taking form is involution. And now we know very well that we are in the process of evolution. And you and I we have volunteered to be here at a really interesting time, haven't we? We know it's time to clean up our act so that we evolve through our physical world into greater light and love expression. So how can we do that? First of all, we get settled in things and we like the way things are, and then whammo, there's change. So we get all upset again. and then we get settled again and cram up disease, a hurricane, a tornado, or our beloved moves away, or whatever, this, that, and the other thing. Raise your hand if you haven't had any changes in your life in the last week. Nobody raised their hand. Okay, so isn't it funny that we resist change? I mean, it's hilarious. That is part of what we have agreed to be and to live with. So you and I, number one, it's time for us to learn to accept what is, cry about it, rant and rave about it. Once or twice. Get over it. And then just keep walking. Okay? All right. So we will never be happy until we learn to accept what is as it is, experience all the pain of it, etc., and then just get over it.
Amen.
All right. So some people think that Earth at this point in time is feeling this word, hell. And so let's just imagine the presence looks down, and what do you think the Earth needs now to help get itself in a better place?
Love.
Of course. What the world needs now
Is love, sweet love.
All we need is love. All right. And remember the song, life is the only answer. What's that? Love is the only answer. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think it's true. There are more songs written about love than anything else. Probably. Okay. So, what are we going to do about this? So, again, can you imagine, and if you can't imagine it, I think Anne-Marie has this book downstairs. It used to be called Courageous Souls, and they've changed the title, but she is all wise, and so she can direct you toward this book by Robert Schwartz. And it's the idea that people who had very major things happen in their lives knew that on one level they had chosen that to happen in their life. When quotation marks bad things happen to us, what is it we're supposed to do from that? Learn what? Love. Love. Yes, learn to love the unlovable. I've shared before about a time when I was in Granada, Spain. We had finished our tour and I decided to stay downtown by myself. And I wanted to go back into the magnificent cathedral and just enjoying the energy there. And while I was there, I got the idea, we were leaving Spain the next day, of putting all of my loose change in one pocket so I could reach it easily. And every time I saw a beggar, I'd reach into my pocket change and just put some in the beggar's hand. And I don't know about you, when I'm traveling, I learn what the bills are, but coins are little, hard to see. And I was so excited because when I went in, there was an elderly woman there, of course all dressed in black, leaning against the cathedral wall, and she had a sign that said, it was in Espanol, I'll give it to you in English, it said, I am blind. Please have mercy on me. My mother at that time was elderly and losing her eyesight to a degree. So this woman really tugged at my heartstrings. And I was so happy when I went out the cathedral to notice that she was still there. So I reached into my pocket and I didn't just drop the coins in her hand like I was afraid to touch her. I put my left hand under hers and held her hand while I placed the coins in the hand. My heart was bursting with love. I walked down the sidewalk and I heard somebody spit. And then the next thing I heard were coins bouncing along the walkway beside me. okay. There was a part of me that felt rejected. There was a part of me that judged her. There was a part of me that felt not good enough. And I kept on walking, but I did continue to give beggars coins, and nobody else threw them at me. All right, today, I see that I might have a more open heart, might have responded in a different way. The open heart would not have taken time to judge her. The open heart might have walked back to the woman. And who knows, maybe I would have given her all the coins in my pocket. Who knows, maybe I would have even given her something that told me instead. Love. We express love according to how big our heart centers are. And the beautiful part is our heart centers can always grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, it's quite possible that the soul of that elderly beggar and I knew each other before we ever came to earth. And she perhaps volunteered to give me that lesson. It's something I certainly have never forgotten. That was in the 90s. So the powers that be decide what the earth needs now is love. So let us send one, a wayshower, who can be an example of how to live so that hearts flower and the world gets better and better and better. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus is known in the Western and in the Eastern world, surprisingly enough, as an avatar of love. He did things differently, didn't he? Would you believe he dared to have one of his closest 12 people was a tax collector? God, everybody knows how dirty and filthy they are. Oh, dear. And I guess an analogy today might be, whoa, would you believe that man had a liberal as one of his disciples? Or that man dared to have a conservative as one of his disciples? Oh my goodness, we adorable human beings get so much into judgment, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't it fun? Isn't it funny? This avatar of love even dared to touch the untouchables, the lovers. Oh, God, who would do that in their right mind? All right. An avatar of love. And we in here might not call ourselves avatars, but yes, we are all here to expand in love, to love what we have called unlovable. I would like for you to imagine that Jesus' whole figure is in this picture. I think that heart's much too small, okay? That just didn't do it for me. Okay, so let's imagine that this is the heart center, and Jesus' earth suit is within that center of love. And let us remember that as our heart centers expand, the energy, consider it flames if you will, lap up in our throats, and we begin to say nicer things. I'm hoping that'll happen really fast. And then we begin to see more beauty, to see things as God sees them. God created this, that, and the other thing, and said it good, called it good. Can you and I do that? Yes. When we're looking through the eyes of love, we can see the beauty and the goodness within everything, wherever it is, no matter how much it irritates us. All right. So when we choose to live in the vibration of love, we are experiencing heaven on earth. of you are familiar with Neil Donald Walsh's book, The Little Soul in the Sun. If you don't have it, I suggest that you buy it. I don't know how many copies Anne Marie has downstairs. It's called A Child's Book, but what did Jesus say? If you want to enter the kingdom,
Be as children.
become as little children. Yeah. And I would probably be a better person if I read this book once a week. Who knows? Maybe once a day. The gist of the story is that everybody's in the sun in heaven, and there's this one little individualized beam of light that goes to God and says, I know what I am, I know what I am. And he said, what? I'm light. And he said, well, yeah, that's good. But that wasn't enough for the little soul. The little soul couldn't tell that it was light. Why? Because everything else was light around it. So it couldn't really feel what it was to be light. So it was decided that the little soul could, a situation could be arranged. We'll say the little soul arranged to come to earth where there was some darkness, because you can't see your light unless there's darkness. And so the little soul got all excited about that. Hooray! That'll be great. And then the little soul said, but how will I be light? I don't want just to know that I'm light. I want to be it. I want to be it in action. I want to radiate it. That's what all of you said too. And here we are. And so the little souls all began to gather, and one of the best friends of this little soul, we'll call it the friendly little soul now, said, I'll volunteer to go to Earth, and I will volunteer to do something really, really bad. And then you can be forgiveness. You can be love. And the little soul was so excited. You would do that for me? That's wonderful. And then the friendly soul said, but you must promise me one thing. Because for me to go and do that really awful thing to you for which you need to forgive me, I'm going to have to take on darkness. And by that time, I will have forgotten who I am. So when I do that awful thing to you, will you promise me that you will look at me, look into my eyes, and see what I truly am? See the light and love within me? And if I forget, you might forget too. So if you don't remember to do that, we both might be lost. And then somebody else will have to come. Okay, you got the message. All of us have someone in our life that might have been what we call a thorn in our side. Maybe even recently. And when you and I am blessed with such a person. When you and I'm serious. I'm serious. And in preparation for this talk, if you want to grow, I tell Margaret you'll give a talk, okay? I have to live everything before I talk about it, and so it is a true blessing. But as I see the light in this person and know the hurt and the fear and the anger that he is experiencing within him, it's amazing how things change in that.
Amen.
So, take a deep breath. Are you willing, just for today, to see the light, the love light, the goodness, the spark of the divine within everyone you come into contact with?
Yes.
No matter what they say to you, even if they put you off in traffic.
Yes.
That's a mighty small thing compared to what many of us experience. And that also means that we look at ourselves in the same way. Because we can only love others to the degree that we love ourselves. This doesn't mean we love our earth suits. That's nice. But when we love ourselves, we want to love the animating, divine light and love and joy and peace that the presence is. When we love that, everything else falls into place really nicely. Just in May, I loved this picture of Pope Francis embracing a Jewish rabbi and a Muslim imam. Just think of the thousands, perhaps millions of people that have been killed with these three religions warring each other. This says a lot. It's beautiful. That's love. Matthew said, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And isn't that what you and I want? It doesn't matter what others see when they look at us. What matters is what we see when we look at them. Let's be much more interested in how much love we are radiating out to everyone, rather than swept away with, oh my gosh, he didn't speak to me. I don't think she likes me. It just nothing. Whatever. Okay, you get the idea. All right. What we want to do is be radiating centers of the image and likeness of God in which we are created. It works, and it sure feels good. You want to be happy? That's the way. Easy. I love this picture. Now, do you have to be meditating all the time to radiate love? No, if you were, we'd never eat or have a car or a house or anything, right? There wouldn't be anything. Everybody would just be sitting around forever and ever. No. So you and I want to be focused again on the love light that we are within, and to be that in expression in our everyday world. And when that happens, we are focused on what we're radiating out instead of what is coming toward us. Everything changes when you start to emit your own frequency rather than absorbing the frequencies around you. When you start imprinting your intent on the universe rather than receiving imprint from existence. Are you willing to do that?
Yep.
Okay, I can hear y'all.
Yes.
Oh, good. Ask you again anyway. Are you willing to do this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Are you willing to be happy?
Yes.
All right. There's only one person that can make you happy. Who is that?
Me.
Amen. Amen. Are you going to do it?
Yes.
Yes. All we need is
Love.
love. Our focus is love, not the love coming toward us, the love radiating through us.
Amen.
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 So, the open heart sees beauty wherever it looks. Perhaps you can see above the open flower there that is radiating light and love. There's a flower up to the left that is barely open. You and I all have people in our lives that we come into contact with who are that bud, just barely opening. So what are we called to do? We're called to see that bud fully open. To be seen energizes us. When somebody sees me as love, it's easier to be loved, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So, we know what we're going to do, don't we? The open heart sees beauty wherever it looks. And since I'm being a sweet little focused girl now, what do I see when I'm looking out at you? beauty, 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 magnificence. And then perhaps as our inner eye opens, perhaps we see the beauty of the light and the love. Perhaps we see the beauty of angels and other beings, energy flowing in beautiful colors, kind of like those all around. Let us say yes to see the beauty in art. May we say yes.
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 To love y'all. Thank you. Thank you very much, Susan.